I think he actually saw the end of the road, and now it's part of the larger strategy of Mr. Mistry. Now he actually has realized that he has no other way other than actually to go to courts. And that's why...
You do believe that this is now headed to the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Parasaran, so, if I were to go over the allegations that Mr. Mistry has made over the past 8 weeks, and also in this statement, he talks about Mr. Ratan Tata and Mr. Soonawala refusing to give up control of boards of various companies, thereby undermining the boards of various companies. He has, of course, raised the issue of questionable dealings, specifically talking about the deal with Mr. Sivasankaran, that he's raised several times over. He's talked about the 2G scam and the possibility of potential prosecution in the 2G scam. This is a long list of charges that Mr. Mistry has made over the past 8 weeks, being reiterated today. So now this is now going to be incumbent on regulators to take cognizance, because we understand that Mr. Vadia has moved the regulator as well, has filed a complaint, and of course whatever transpires in the courtroom.
I think, see, it's becoming, these allegations are virtually equatable to, I think, the level of some politician making serious allegations very recklessly, and I don't give much credence to such allegations. And I think the Tata Sons or some other responsible entity will come out with a suitable reply in the form of a white paper, even with regard to his statement which has been made today. Because this statement has been made with an eye on litigation. Therefore, I think there will be a suitable reply. And with regard to other allegations also, I think he also made a very serious allegation that Mr. Tata had advised the sale of even TCS, no? And when somebody else came out with a reply that that was not the case, then he had to backtrack. Therefore, I think these sort of allegations are being made, I think, in a very emotional state of mind. And I don't give any credence to this sort of allegations. And we should actually come to a level playing field and realize the reality.
But Mr. Parasaran, while you say that you don't give credence to these allegations, you also say that the statement has been made with an eye on litigation. As a regulator, sir, won't the regulator be forced to take cognizance of these complaints, these allegations, because the regulator is now seized of the matter? So when he talks about a forensic audit that showed up fraud of a certain amount and so on and so forth, won't the regulator and other investigative agencies then be forced to take cognizance?
See, this is like actually anybody going and filing an FIR before a police. And if serious allegations are made before the police, anyway, the police takes cognizance. And actually, in the event if a regulator actually takes notice of it, I think the Tatas will actually seek to make a reply and convince that they are out of the wrong.
So, Mr. Parasaran, what should the Tata strategy be? You said that they will probably issue a white paper responding to the allegations that Mr. Mistry has once again made in his statement. But, how would the Tatas look to protect themselves from a legal perspective, sir?
Yeah, that actually they know how to protect themselves. They would actually engage the best of the legal brains. And secondly, they are more...
Given your opinion to the Tatas, sir, are you still consulting with them?
Yes, I've been on board. And secondly, I think, see, they are more concerned about their own reputation. They are more concerned about the interest of the investors and also public interest. See, everybody should realize, actually, Tata's is part of the Indian economy, and we should all actually be very careful and should not sensitivize the issue too much, which will actually ultimately affect the common man. No? Already, actually, we are facing so many problems.
We don't know, Mr. Parasaran, whether Mr. Wadia will follow suit, but at least as far as the Indian hotels EGM is concerned, I would imagine that that would no longer hold. But you know, for instance, the Tata Steel or the Tata Motors EGM, where Mr. Wadia is also a participant, because the resolution includes his ouster as well. If he doesn't step down as Mr. Mistry has, they will need to change the resolution?
If he doesn't step down, they will actually proceed insofar as Mr. Wadia is concerned. I think they will only change the resolution. I think insofar as Mr. Mistry is concerned, the resolution has become infructuous. They will actually go ahead insofar as Mr. Wadia is concerned.
So one of our guests was talking about the possibility of this perhaps taking on the nature of a class action suit, unprecedented in India. We've already seen some minority shareholders move the Bombay High Court. How would you respond to that?
See, the sub judice, therefore I would not like to comment too much on that. And I've also been advising Tatas. Therefore, see, my position is actually quite nebulous. And we will actually face all this litigation. And in my opinion, I think we have a good case, and all these actions, according to us, do not actually have any legal basis. I would not like to go more than that, no, at this juncture.
What makes you believe that you have a strong legal case, Mr. Parasaran? I know I don't want to push you too much, sir, but what gives you the belief that you have a strong legal case against Cyrus Mistry?
See, this is actually, essentially, it was the discretion of the board of directors. And you can't actually go into the issue of bona fides or mala fides before a civil court, no? And
right.
We are actually essentially relying upon so many decisions, including actually LIC versus Scots, and these shareholders could not have actually bypassed the normal route.
So you're saying that this is a matter of corporate democracy?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Parasaran, what will be the next course of action on the part of the Tatas?
We will wait. No, I think it's all clear. I think he has already said the forum is going to be shifted elsewhere, and possibly has hinted, I think it will be the courts. It's not obviously going to be shareholders, because he's not going to face the EGM. He can't go to the people because actually it is not politics. Therefore, I think we'll wait till he moves the court.
Yes, I think if you read the statement, that is what it clearly suggests. I had initially not thought that one would need to seek an external forum to adjudicate issues that should never have arisen in the first place. So he's talking about shifting the gears and upping the momentum. You know, we've seen a reiteration several times over of some very specific charges that have been made by Cyrus Mistry. And while I don't want you to sort of get into to them individually, you know, beyond the insinuations, at least when it comes to particular deals, for instance, in the matter that pertains to Mr. Sivasankaran, where documentary evidence has been presented by Cyrus Mistry, for instance, do you think that that would be an area that should concern the Tatas?
See, that's what I would not like to comment on every issue and go before the public, no? Being a counsel to the Tatas, and wash any dirty linen in public. And being a counsel of some repute, I do not want to go to a public platform. We have to reserve all these things, I think, before some other forum, as Mr. Mistry himself says. I would actually toe, at least insofar as this issue is concerned, Mr. Cyrus' line.
Okay, Mr. Parasaran, let me try for a little bit longer, sir. Have you heard from the market regulator? Because Mr. Wadia has moved the market regulator. He has taken his complaint to SEBI. Have you heard from the market regulator? Has SEBI asked any questions of the Tatas?
I am not still aware of it.
You're not aware whether there has been any communication from SEBI
I don't think
on the basis of Mr. Wadia's allegations?
I don't think so.
When can we expect a response from your side, from the Tata side?
Definitely, I think within 2-3 days.
Within 2-3 days. Were you expecting this, sir? Because there was a board meeting today. We understand that it was a very cordial meeting and there was nothing that was confrontational that was discussed. Were you expecting this? Were the Tatas expecting this development?
How could they expect this? No, it's all coming from a mystical mind. No?
So it's a googly bold by Cyrus Mistry.
Yeah.
Taken the Tatas by surprise or shock, sir?
Googly bold, but I think it went out of the stumps. No?
Out of the stumps, but shock and awe or surprise?
Yeah. You were surprised, but it went out of the stumps.